So, there I was, 3 a.m. on a Monday night, performing the soul-sucking endeavor of watching Yuru Yuri Season 3, when... What do you mean, why? Have you met me? Okay, Brad. Alright. We are standing here in Shinjuku, by the 7-Eleven, where lo and behold, I have found this coffee drink featured in the anime Tokyo Ghoul. Introductions, am I right? I mean, wow. Now that you have a general idea of what you're dealing with, this is your one and only window to do yourself a favor and hit that X button. Alright, suit yourself. Let's do this. What is up, everyone? It's your boy StarTails, and if you're watching this, then I'm here to answer one question. Is Gate worth your time? Gate is brought to you by Studio A1 Pictures. You know, the production house behind these. And I guess these as well. Now, regardless of their track record, they also graced this earth with Anohana. And yo, if you real, you go watch Anohana. But this isn't about Anohana, so let's get into it. An otherworldly gate inexplicably appears in the middle of modern Tokyo, out of which the entirety of Tolkien's extended universe spills out. The Japanese Self-Defense Force is quick to action, and successfully manages to repel the fantastical invading armies back through the gate. Shortly after this, the Japanese government determines that destroying the gate is deemed too risky, for fear of another one opening elsewhere in the country. Instead, they opt to send armed forces to the world beyond the gate, eloquently designated the Special Region. Our protagonist, Yoji Itami, is a soldier in the 3rd Reconnaissance Team and an outspoken otaku. He's actually on his way to a doujinshi exhibit at the time of the attack, which coincidentally is in the same area. And, you know, I think Itami's reaction to this impossible series of events paints a better picture of his character than I ever could. I cannot emphasize enough that this is not a war anime. After all, the JSDF's primary objective isn't conquest, it's to establish a relationship of trust with the denizens of the Special Region. Instead, I would liken the premises closer to that of the show Stargate, albeit with a heavier emphasis on worldly and otherworldly politics. I feel this scene early on in the show best describes the current state of affairs. How would entire nations react if a portal to inhabitable and resourceful lands containing impossible creatures and concepts opened to a single country? How would the affected people, the world leaders on both sides? Gate provides an answer. Alright, enough plot. Let's talk about the cast. Oh boy, you guys aren't ready for this. There's the sorceress, Lele Lala Lena, the elf, Chukaluna Marceau, the demigoddess of war, Rory Mercury, and the princess, Pina Colada. Now, I'm not the best at naming my characters, but whenever I have to, I make sure the names make at least a lick of sense within the context of the story. Really need to tell me the parents' names. Lele is a character bankrupt of any personality whose character arc is practically non-existent. In comparison, Hyuka is struggling to cope with the loss of her father, while Rory's arc touches on the subject of mortality and what it means to piously devote oneself to the concept of conflict. Lele, however, just isn't present in any way that matters, a problem magnified by the fact that we never learn anything beyond the most rudimentary information about her. She has neither past nor a present state of affairs for the audience to infer from why she is the way she is. She just is. Even Pina, having spent most of her life on the sidelines, is out to prove herself after being abruptly thrust into service. Then there's Itami, who wears his identity as this geeky, carefree goof-off with pride. I'll admit, he was off-putting at first, and can easily be seen as a lowest form of pandering. but it quickly becomes apparent that there's more to him than meets the eye. You see, Itami is so committed to maintaining this image of himself that it's when he slips up that we learn the most about him. All major information we learn about Itami comes from a source other than himself, with one notable exception that I won't spoil. Because these moments are few and far in between, it forces an invested audience to treat them like morsels, which only adds to the sense of mystery surrounding him. I also really enjoyed seeing the characters interacting with the others' respective worlds. Moments from watching Itami and his otaku subordinate try to find catgirls, seeing Pinya and a royal guard discover yaoi, they all feel genuine and charming and real. Gate is surprisingly charming considering what it is, so much so in fact that the first time a dude gets murdered on screen, it's almost jarring. I credit a lot of this charm to the soundtrack by Yoshiaki Fujisawa. That's all good and everything, but what makes this anime so special? Well, why don't you sit your ass back down and let me tell you. Right out of the gate, it is established that in terms of battle prowess, the JSDF is leaps and bounds ahead of the special region. They gotta fight soldiers? No problem. Magic? GG. Dragons? Destruction. The JSDF has great power over the situation and wields it as responsibly as one can given the circumstances. This is notable for one reason. The very notion that war can be waged responsibly runs counter to the majority opinion that war is wrong. Gate stands out because it doesn't view war as inherently wrong or the military as inherently bad, something I don't see often in anime. This is reflected in the JSDF's overall attitude in the special region. Nothing about the way they conduct themselves can be criticized because the black and white morality of the show makes the conflict clear. Save the town or leave it to fend for itself. Assure the safety of the prisoners or leave them to their fate. It's a concept that can easily feel forced in other settings, but fits naturally into this one because of the nature of the conflict. The Empire started a war they couldn't finish and lacked the support of their own people. Their enemy possesses an overwhelming force, is winning the hearts of the people, and comes with the objective of establishing a relationship. Victory for the Empire is literally impossible, and so this war they find themselves in is little more than a technicality that has left the Empire's hands tied. The conflict ceases to be one of force and instead becomes one of trust. Now, I have to level with you. My expectations at this show were admittedly a lot lower going in, and who knows, perhaps that's why I regarded it in such a positive light. That's not to say that it's perfect. The glorified military bravado reaches obnoxious levels once or twice. And the main cast's character development isn't explored nearly enough. Then there's all the weirdness surrounding Rory, who in the midst of battle is prone to getting, a little bit too excited. Like most ongoing manga to anime adaptations, Gate concludes with a lot of loose ends in terms of overall story and character development. However, a season 2 is confirmed, so there's still time for Lele to get her act together. Gate is an anime treading down the road less traveled and deserves a chance for that alone. It's no One Punch Man, but if you're looking for something to tide you over until the winter season kicks off, this'll do. And if you like it, even better since season 2 is right around the corner. Is Gate worth your time? Yeah, I think it is.